Hello everyone. Welcome back to HVAC Official Channel. If you want to become a professional HVAC technician, learning about variable refrigerant flow, commonly known as VRF systems, is essential. Today, VRF technology is widely used in hotels, hospitals, office buildings, shopping malls, and luxury residential projects because it offers excellent energy efficiency, flexible installation, and precise temperature control. In today's video, I'll explain the complete VRF installation and configuration process in simple and professional language. Whether you're an HVAC student, a beginner technician, or preparing for overseas jobs, this guide will help you understand how VRF systems are installed and commissioned correctly. Let's begin. What is a VRF system? A variable refrigerant flow VRF system is an advanced air conditioning system that uses one or more outdoor units connected to multiple indoor units through refrigerant piping. Unlike a conventional split air conditioner, a VRF system continuously adjusts the amount of refrigerant flowing to each indoor unit according to the cooling or heating demand. Instead of operating only at full capacity, the inverter-driven compressor changes its speed automatically, allowing the system to deliver only the required amount of cooling or heating. This results in lower energy consumption, improved comfort, and better temperature control in different rooms. Main components of a VRF system. A VRF system consists of several important components that work together. The outdoor unit contains one or more inverter compressors, condenser coils, condenser fans, and the control board. The indoor units may be wall-mounted, cassette-type, ducted, floor-standing, or ceiling-suspended, depending on the application. These units are connected by refrigerant piping made of copper tubes. The system also includes branch selector joints, or refrigerant distribution joints, communication cables, drain piping, remote controllers, temperature sensors, and power wiring. Every component must be installed according to the manufacturer's specifications for reliable operation. Step 1. Site survey and planning. The first step before installation is conducting a detailed site survey. The technician should inspect the building layout, determine indoor unit locations, identify outdoor unit placement, check electrical power availability, measure piping distances, and ensure sufficient maintenance space around all equipment. During planning, it is also important to calculate the total cooling load so that the outdoor unit capacity matches the building's cooling requirements. Oversizing or undersizing the system can reduce efficiency and affect long-term performance. Step 2. Installing the outdoor unit. The outdoor unit should always be installed on a strong and level foundation capable of supporting its weight. Adequate clearance must be maintained around the unit to allow proper airflow through the condenser. The outdoor unit should not be installed where hot air discharge from the condenser can circulate back into the coil, as this reduces efficiency. Vibration isolators are recommended to reduce noise and vibration, especially in commercial buildings. Step 3. Installing indoor units. Indoor units should be installed according to the approved HVAC drawings. Wall-mounted units should be installed at the recommended height, while cassette units must be properly centered in the ceiling grid. Ducted indoor units require correctly sized supply and return air ducts with adequate insulation to prevent energy loss and condensation. Proper drainage is equally important. The drain pipe should maintain the correct slope to allow condensate water to flow freely without leakage or blockage. Step 4. Refrigerant piping installation. Refrigerant piping is one of the most critical parts of a VRF installation. Only clean refrigeration-grade copper pipes of the correct diameter should be used. Pipes must be properly insulated to prevent heat gain and condensation. During brazing, technicians should purge the pipes with dry nitrogen to reduce oxidation inside the tubing. Oxidation can contaminate the refrigeration system and damage expansion valves or compressors. Manufacturers also specify the maximum allowable pipe length, height difference, and refrigerant branch configuration. These limits must never be exceeded because they directly affect system performance. Step 5. Electrical wiring and communication cables. After piping is completed, electrical wiring should be installed according to the manufacturer's wiring diagram. Each outdoor and indoor unit requires proper power connections, grounding, and communication wiring. Communication cables allow the indoor and outdoor units to exchange operating information. Incorrect wiring or wrong cable polarity can cause communication errors and prevent the system from operating. Always keep communication cables separated from high-voltage power cables whenever possible to minimize electrical interference. Step 6. Pressure testing. Before charging or releasing refrigerant into the piping, the system should be pressure tested. Dry nitrogen is commonly used to pressurize the system and check for refrigerant leaks. During this process, technicians inspect all flare joints, braze joints, and service valves for leaks using approved leak detection methods. If any leaks are found, they should be repaired before moving to the next step. Step 7. Vacuuming the system. After a successful pressure test, the entire refrigeration system should be evacuated using a vacuum pump. The purpose of vacuuming is to remove air, moisture, and non-condensable gases from the refrigerant piping. Moisture left inside the system can freeze at the expansion device, cause internal corrosion, reduce efficiency, and shorten compressor life. For professional commissioning, technicians should verify that an adequate deep vacuum has been achieved before charging or releasing refrigerant. Step 8. Refrigerant charging. Many VRF outdoor units are factory charged for a specific piping length. If the installed piping exceeds the manufacturer's standard length, additional refrigerant must be added according to the manufacturer's charging instructions. Refrigerant should never be added by guesswork. Always calculate the additional charge based on the total pipe length and the manufacturer's service manual. Step 9. System configuration. Once installation is complete, the VRF system must be configured. This includes assigning indoor unit addresses, setting outdoor unit parameters, configuring zones if required, connecting wired or wireless controllers, and verifying communication between all indoor and outdoor units. Most modern VRF systems include automatic addressing features, but technicians should always verify the configuration before commissioning. Step 10. Testing and commissioning. The final stage is testing and commissioning. The technician should start the system and verify that every indoor unit communicates correctly with the outdoor unit. Supply air temperature, operating pressures, compressor performance, fan operation, drain performance, and electrical current should all be checked. Any fault codes displayed by the controller should be investigated before handing over the system. A properly commissioned VRF system provides stable room temperatures, quiet operation, and high energy efficiency. Common installation mistakes. Many installation problems are caused by avoidable mistakes. Common examples include incorrect pipe sizing, poor insulation, improper drain pipe slope, failing to purge with nitrogen during brazing, skipping the vacuum process, incorrect communication wiring, exceeding maximum pipe lengths, and adding the wrong amount of refrigerant. Following the manufacturer's installation manual carefully helps avoid these issues and improves long-term system reliability. Safety guidelines. Safety should always be the technician's highest priority. Always disconnect electrical power before working on the system. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment. Use approved tools. Handle refrigerants responsibly, and follow local electrical and refrigeration safety regulations. Proper lifting techniques should also be used when installing heavy outdoor units to prevent equipment damage and personal injury. Conclusion. VRF systems are among the most advanced and energy-efficient HVAC technologies used today. A successful installation depends on careful planning, correct piping practices, accurate wiring, proper pressure testing, deep vacuuming, correct refrigerant charging, and thorough system commissioning. As an HVAC technician, mastering these installation procedures will improve your technical skills and increase your opportunities for commercial and overseas HVAC careers. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to HVAC official channel.